My name is Aryan Singh, and my project is activities around the United States. Through this project, I wanted to learn about the market of Packout. This is an activity planning app that I've been building throughout the semester, and that was the reason why I wanted to do it. Let's dive into it. So I got my data points from EventBird's API. I was able to gather around 300,000 data points through this. And upon cleaning, I had to remove around 50,000 data points because some were missing timestamps, categories, locations. And while converting the city and state into latitude, longitude, location, using GeoPy library, s- it wasn't able to resolve a few series. So that led to me losing 50,000 data points. So the question I wanted to answer with with through this project were, are there any hotspots for these activities that happen in states? Are there specific clusters that certain categories of activities form? To what extent does seasonality affect these activities? Are there certain categories famous in a certain region of the country? And do the activities category shift across the American cities and seasonality? Like, are there certain activities that are famous in certain American cities in a certain season? So, first, I started with creating, um, putting all the data on a map to find out the hotspots. And as you can see, the East Coast and the West Coast have the most amount of activities. Starting with New York, it has about 13,000 activities that have happened in the last 2 years. And then there's Miami with 46,000 activities and Los Angeles with 16,000. Then I I clustered these activities, created heat maps with in different seasons. These seasons, as you can see, in the fall, it is at the prime. It's as dense as it gets, but as we transition into winter, it starts to slow down with spring. As spring comes, activities almost die. And then in summer, it starts getting back up again. Few interesting points that I found in this data were how the East Coast region stays pretty constant throughout the year, along with Miami and some of the West Coast as well. And in winters, Colorado really shines because it has a lot of ski resorts, I'm assuming. And as we then I did a cluster based on activity categories. What this did was um, the how diverse the activities were in certain regions. So although New York, Miami, these places had the most number of activities, they weren't the activities with the most diverse um, activity count. So at top there was Toronto in Ontario. Then there was, of course, New York, and followed by San Francisco and Los Angeles. Then these were the top 10 activities in the data set, like performing visual arts, music, partying, and social gathering. It's interesting to me how the top five activities are almost three-fourths of the entire data set. Um, the first activity itself is almost a little less than half of the data set with 250,000 data points. The performing arts and visual itself is 100,000 data points. So that's interesting. And then I did some hierarchy clustering of event categories. So what I did was I took the seasonal data and the location and saw how these different categories change over time with these, and what are the event categories that are very closely related. And upon doing this, I found out that 7 out of the top 10 activities are very closely related, like partying, music, seasonal holidays, film, class, concerts, and performing visual arts. So what this does is it really clusters the activities together, and and really makes everything dependent on seasonality. So as season progress, as these changes, all the activities together pretty much vanish away. And there are few standout clusters, but these are very small, like these orange dots and green dots. It's pretty much all red. And for further experiment, I'm want to dive into more subcategories with additional fields of data. And some of the learnings I took from this project was when is the best time to launch back out, and which are the best cities to target, because the cities that have, like, let's say Miami and New York will be the perfect cities during fall and summer to target, because that way I'll have a lot of traction.